Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Together. My name is Chris. I will be your question Supremo for today. Yes, that's right. Supremo. That's right, Tom. I'm coming for your crown.
I refuse. I will fight for it tooth and nail.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us for an evening of talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Chris, and I will be your question Supremo for the evening, and we're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. We will be asking questions about the Ds, and we'll be doing a campaign recap of... Say it with me, everyone.
Ancient Antics.
I'm still hooked on Ds and Ds.
I am. So I'm really Ds and Ds. Doesn't sound like what you think it means, Chris.
Pennies, old pennies.
I'm just shocked at the subconscious that's being revealed by members of this group.
I know. Every time.
No thought of it throughout the campaign. No inkling of romance, but underneath it, filth.
There was quite a lot of filth in this campaign, but we'll come to that. Yes, I'll be asking these lovely players lovely questions, and they will be answering them. We'll be recapping some of what happened in Ancient Antics and talking about things from the campaign, stories you may not have heard, behind-the-scenes goss, and all the other stuff that you love to see. Before we get started, we'll run for about an hour. We are delighted to be sponsored by Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, and Elderwood Academy, and supported by Warriors of Waterdeep, Level Up Dice, and D&D Beyond. If you want to check out our content any other places, we're on Twitch, where you probably are watching us, on YouTube, where you might be watching us, and on podcasts, where you might be listening to us. See what so yes, you can check them out in all the other places. Just search Roll Together RPG, or youtube.com/Roll Together RPG, or twitch.tv/Roll Together RPG for all your Roll Together RPG needs. Right, good. Well, we all know how this goes, friends. We roll dice and we ask questions, so... I'm going to roll a dice now, and I think if I roll a dice now, that means all of you have to say something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Die! The only time it's socially acceptable to say that.
On three, friends. 1, 2, 3.
Roll that dice.
You need some help with your enthusiasm, just as a group. I'm just saying. Cool. We start
for the show. It's too late now.
We start with a 14. Ooh, this is a question for everyone. Which NPC gets the MVP award? So which non-player character gets the most valuable player, non-player character? NPC.
Thank you for explaining that. I've never known what that means.
Star Trail.
Star Trail.
I would, yes. I was like, maybe Reggie, but Star Trails. Yeah.
Would you like to say why?
He's the best horse in the entire universe.
You love a glow up.
Yes, but didn't Star Trail know it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Diva.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah.
I'm going to vote Lambert.
My favorite thing about Star Trail is imagining another DM now having to play Star Trail if Tom brings that character back and just having to be like, yes, I'm here.
I see no problem with that.
I just waiting for Tom to go through the horse summoning neigh.
The 10 minutes of me just going,
There was an amazing bit where Tom and Emma were both going, and it was glorious.
Yeah. Episode 2, I think, isn't it?
Tom, if that ever happens, we need to mute you and just have you doing that in the background for 10 minutes whilst the conversation takes place.
That's the camera, inside the house, and it's just me sort of going.
By the way, every time you said if they go back to the Feywild, they get stoned, I was just there giggling, and then you were also talking about grass, and I was like...
Okay, small amount of context here. Tom,
yes.
What made you decide that if... No, it wasn't you, it was Emma. Emma, what made you decide that if Star Trail went back to the Feywild, they got stoned to death?
No, they don't get stoned to death. They were lying.
What? Everyone's lying to me.
Yeah, your oath of gullible.
Well, that's the thing. I think I was like, okay, I'll go for this. And then I think Star Trail got like a 20. And so to the day this lady dies, she'll be like, I don't want to send him back. It'll be horrible. We may have to go to the Feywild. And I was like, I don't want to go to the Feywild. They throw stones at horses. It sounds terrible.
I mean, knowing the Feywild, bits of it probably do. I mean, it's entirely possible. Yeah. This is the horse throwing bit. No, this is the stones throwing bit.
There's also the horse throwing bit.
Now, I feel we all rather sadly elided over Sean's second suggestion of Lambert.
I do love Lambert.
Lambert was great.
Who was Lambert?
I feel so bad about
That was my thought. Who was Lambert?
Lambert was the very first NPC we met.
The Halfling Guard.
When we started the campaign rather than the one shot. Yeah, stood up to a white dragon on his own just because it was his job. I mean,
don't make me go get someone.
I feel so bad about making you feel bad about being an ice wizard fan.
I think it is by far one of my favourite little touches that M threw in, where it was, oh yeah, people who love Tina, they're like ice wizards, going to this long rant. You going, they're all terrible. I hate them all. They're all terrible. You just see M going, oh, Lambert's going to be so sad. Oh.
I have to ask M, actually, was the whole, because we may have horribly maligned Lambert, in which case I will reshape my opinion of them. Because we know that Lambert could use ice magic, but didn't. But I'd assumed, and Torvald assumed, I think everyone had assumed that this was cowardice, but maybe it was just having been intimidated by Tina not wanting to use ice.
There would be no point using ice magic on a white dragon.
Oh no, on the little
Kraken.
Yes, I forgot that he was part of that combat. Also, I threw that in randomly later to make you feel bad. He couldn't use ice magic up until that point.
It's suddenly
behind the
unlocked.
Lambert is evolving. He evolved into a prick who doesn't use magic.
So we've got Star Trek and we've got Lambert. Any more? No Murta love?
My favourite was Murta.
Yeah.
I know you all hate Murta, but I really
From an
love
audience
Murta.
was the big bad. You cannot convince me otherwise.
From an audience perspective, I absolutely love Murta. It is the epitome of that kind of, oh, I thought I'd do something and it didn't work. Oh, well, just giving no shits about anything. Just
In episode 4, I'm so sad. And Murta's like, well, what do you want? Do you want me to give you all the information? And I'm like, yes.
I mean, I know alignments don't have much of a place in 5e, but that was chaotic neutral if ever I saw it.
Exactly. It was the epitome of chaotic neutral. I'm a Warforged now. Why?
No one asked.
What about the Warforged who had the body? Yeah, we had a deal. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
The deal was suck it up, buddy.
The deal was, how'd you like them jars? Yeah. So no Murta love apart from me then. Everyone hates.
I love Murta.
Of course you do. It was a self-insult.
I think love
It's not self-insult. I do not go around locking people in jars.
if you'd asked the question best or most developed character, then Murta would be up there. But most liked, definitely not. It was very much a love to hate.
It says it's MVP, so most valuable NPC technically.
Well, I suppose without Murta, none of it would have happened. So.
From a character perspective,
it would have been a very short campamping.
I also sense very little love for Reggie, your gold dragon friend.
Oh, I love Reggie.
Love
He was
Reggie. Do love
great.
Reggie.
Team Reggie.
Reggie goes without saying. It's a gold dragon with a monocle. What more do you want?
Friends with legendary actions.
Friends with legendary actions, it is very
Reggie is the ultimate ride or die. I will not hear to the contrary. Possibly ride and die, depending on.
Reggie did so much damage in that fight, though. It was like 91 points of fire. That was
Ancient gold dragons are horrific. Yeah.
Would have been a TPK otherwise.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It was statted knowing that you'd have a gold dragon in the first half.
Oh, well, then sack Reggie off, would have done without.
Yes, I take no responsibility for the statting of the Karut. Right, good. Should we roll the dice?
I still got fucking trauma from that combat. Thanks, you assholes.
Half of us spent it paused.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll give you paused.
I mean,
Please
death is a
don't.
kind of paused.
Yeah, I had to talk to the editors about creating a disintegrate animation. It was great.
Yeah, it's great, Chris. It's fucking brilliant. I want that to happen to me in every campaign.
Roller coaster only goes up.
That a joyride.
Noted.
It looks amazing. Okay, good.
To be fair, that was good.
Let's roll another dice before I put my foot in it further. Here we go. Yeah. All right.
Oh, bunks.
Only Tom said roll that dice. So
Roll the dice.
Roll that
Like, what is
dice.
it?
Roll
that
that
dice.
dice. There you go.
Okay, there's your enthusiasm. See?
wow. Right. 18. Which PC gets the cleverest use of a spell or ability award?
I mean, that catapult spell, that's insane. Watching it bounce around, that was... Every time I turned it up, I was like, oh, here it comes. We're coming
Catapults
to
are
the end.
underutilized. They're a subtler, less flashy spell, but I love them.
It was also one of your few...
Tina's-
Sorry, let's go ahead.
I was going to say, Tina's use of counterspell, that was quite good. And if it
Could use the
works,
counterspell anyway.
yeah.
It did work because otherwise someone would have been temporarily locked and they weren't. Yes.
Yeah. Oh. I still to this day, I don't actually really know how to use counterspell. I'm just always going to throw it out if it's an option.
Say it really quickly. Counterspell.
Whenever any creature casts spell, just shout the word counterspell and let the DM figure it out.
It's like saying the word objection in legal dramas. It doesn't matter why.
No.
You wake up from a nap. Counterspell.
It gives you like 20 seconds to think. Like, what are you countering? Well, very good question. It's the glow.
Is there a spell being cast? Because if so, I have countered it.
It's revivify. Counter spell? No.
I mean, there are. I think it's one of the nice things about D&D is there's counterspell, there's shield, now there's silvery barbs as well. There are 3 spells you can just go. Do you like what happened? No. Shout these words and see what happens.
I have to say, also, Sean used the platinum shield one, which gave Tina resistance to force damage,
and the abilities of evasion. So the dex save at the end wouldn't have fried you entirely.
Yeah, so I think that was quite clever too.
Yeah.
Not clever so much as using it as intended, but to the effect of not causing 2 deaths.
It was a good response to the evolving situation.
I'm going to throw in a vote because it's making good healing choices is quite tough, especially when you're a third caster. So using Aura of Vitality, Tom, is a very smart way of doing lots of little bits of healing to the entire party. I approved. Yeah. I sat there in the audience going, yes.
And it also did result in the great thing of going, no, don't heal me. Just wrestling, going, you will be healed.
Can I say no? Can I resist healing? One of those sentences you don't expect to hear in a D&D game.
Actually, this one's from the one shot, but the ice dragon originally put up a wall of ice, and then Tina just wall of fire down the whole thing. It was great. Mm-hmm. Just melted the whole thing. And
we can't. Rope trick in the first one shot as well.
Yeah, rope trick was good. Yeah. And we can't ignore Thorvald being big.
I was going to say that would get my vote.
Yeah, I mean, it was so out of the blue. I feel it really came out of left field. That Torvald was like, oh, do I want advantage on grappling? Because really, Torvald was more of a support caster. Mm-hmm. So I feel that as an imaginative use of a spell, definitely gets my vote. Yeah,
you get props for making yourself bigger so you can grapple bigger things as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. This was from a technical point of view, this was an experimental build, and what I discovered is that there's a reason I build my characters the way that I do. And that's because I enjoy playing them. Whereas this was more like, I've built a thing that does one thing. Is this fun? No, it's basically being a champion fighter, but with grappling. So that's why I was so grateful for the sort of the assortment of characters that we had to play off. But yeah, it turns out Eldritch Knight does not get a lot of spells. And if you dip into Rogue for,
expertise.
Yeah, for just mincing it. I forget what the actual word is. There's a word for sort of optimized builds.
Cheesing it?
Cheesing it, or yeah, whatever. It means you're like there being like, why am I level 11 and only have 2nd level spells?
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but it didn't give me a lot of opportunities to cast spells beyond Embiggening and Shield.
And I think my vote goes to you for that use, though, purely for you choosing to use it before then being frozen in time.
Oh yeah,
and letting 2,000 years worth of people think you're a huge.
Well, also now forever huge.
And now forever huge.
Forever huge.
Forever huge.
Same mind.
The amount of cups that are going to be knocked off shelves. What's the true tragedy?
If you're in the library now, you can take things off shelves, but now you're just knocking things off.
Oh yeah, trying to open a page. I'm gonna have to teach myself mage hand. This giant
one finger pulling a page across.
Acid.
Yeah. It appears this page has a giant fingerprint covering almost all of it. Yeah, that's Torvald.
There was only one copy of that spell in existence.
In old collections, you get books that are like this big. So maybe you'd be specializing in those ones.
Yes, I will be captain of the big books.
Oh, look at Captain Big Books.
Wow.
Again with his big.
That's a genuinely good title, Captain of the Big Books. But Captain Big Books is just a slur. That's awful. Right.
Unexpected slur right there. Yeah.
Unexpected slur. Any other spells we can pick out? I don't think so. I think there was lots of sort of good use, lots of interesting and varied use as well. I particularly like the catapult was Evie's only non-fire-based spell, it seems, because everything else was just
that
fire.
and counter spell, and everything else is just fire.
It was an utter joy to play with people who not only know how to play their characters but also know how to play the game. Because in certain home games that I've played, some people are more interested in the stats and the abilities and so on, but having that sort of relaxed relationship with people who understand the characters and use the abilities in ways that make sense for the actual character that's been established, that was that was tip top for me. That was a joy. Because it meant you always felt in it, as opposed to having that occasional suspension of disbelief, which can take you out of it. But to be actually fully immersed in the game to the point that you feel emotions for these fictional creations. I mean, that's props to all of you, and that goes for the NPCs too. So well done, Emma, in that regard. I hated some of them.
I think that's the point. That's the point of it all. I'm going to roll the dice again now.
There have to be some you don't like.
Sorry, and what were you saying?
I said there have to be some you don't like.
Some you don't like.
Can I ask David a very quick question?
Sure, question.
What are they called? Modrons or Grimishkas? Which one's worse?
I mean,
It's just trauma.
for the duplication, the Grimishkas just shave it, because like at least Modrons were just kind of consistently annoying, whereas Grimishkas, precisely because they were designed to stop you from doing a thing that was like the thing. If the Modron had duplicated every time I tried to grapple something, then yes, equally annoying.
As you squeeze it, I'm
just going to write something down, friends. That's just gorgeous.
Hydra of irritation.
Hydra of irritation, gorgeous.
It's a good thing that there's no Grimishkas existing in, say, Neverwinter Wood anymore.
I rolled a 12, to which the question is, what was your favourite battle/encounter/enemy? Interesting campaign for it, because they were all basically the same enemy in different iterations.
And a white dragon.
I quite like the first, which was the white dragon encounter, because it was so harsh. Like, I think Sir Griffon only had like 50 HP, and that was pretty much gone in round one. So I enjoyed that. That was awesome. And I also did quite enjoy the last battle as well. And it's some feedback that I gave to M, because we have our sort of stars and wishes afterwards. And it was so in context with everything that we had experienced. The actual creature itself that we were fighting stopped time, and it was cool. It made sense narratively, and was, I'm sure David will confirm, a bit of a bastard. So yeah, that was a fun fight.
I'm gonna do that encounter through the medium of interpretive dance.
Need we say more?
Roses. Again, with the white dragon and the beauty of it, like popping out and then just going. Most of you can't see this, but the dragon's just standing there going, "Hey."
So,
also, again, the beauty of like expecting like a really sort of like, "Oh, I am a dragon," and it's just M still going, "Hey, don't touch my books. What are you doing? Knock it off."
I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was like, we're going to fight a dragon. Do we walk down this corridor? Yes. Should we all talk at each other? Doesn't seem that wise, but let's do it anyway. Okay, and suddenly the roof caves and Dragons goes, "What?" Cold breath, and then walks away. Just, "Peeps, get out of my fucking attic."
No salespersons. Don't want your catalogues.
After about 30 seconds, we're like, right, we all need to have a lie down, right? Right? Everyone can have a nap up some rope.
Should we do it on the lake or go to the shore? No, directly on the lake.
Yeah.
The dragon and even the Modrons had what I always look for in DM encounters, is that they have personality. They're not just numbers being thrown at you. It actually feels like you're fighting another character, and I really like that.
Correct.
That's like from that book you've mentioned before, Chris, isn't it? The Monsters Know.
Yeah.
Like that is a mark, I think, of one of the truly like combat running DMs, that you feel as if there's a desire. There's that Stanislavskian want. What's the outcome, as opposed to, like Evie says, being attacked by a Excel spreadsheet.
I think what the point you're making there, which is a really good one, is that part of you want to make sure that your monsters are scary. Like you want to make sure that the encounters are scary. Like
well, sometimes you just want them to be like a minor irritant.
the crew
Like,
was scary.
The point of the Modrons was that they were going to be a minor irritant. Afterwards in the feedback, I was like, can we have more difficult fights?
So they were like the monster equivalent of herpes, like kind of annoying when they show up, but for the rest of the time you forget about them.
They were there to be like something more is going on here, like something weird is happening, and here it is.
And the whole thing where we went, oh, this is interesting. This is cute. This is very annoying. Crush it. Yeah. And then everyone's like, you killed the baby. And we all just were like, yeah. That didn't seem to affect us at all. You kept saying it and we were like,
It's like an annoying baby.
If a toddler's like just repeatedly kicking you in the shin, but the difference is repeatedly knifing you in the chest. Like it's cute to a point, but at some point you're like,
and then you give them a chest and leave them in the other room.
Yeah, you don't kick the baby back, Dave. That's a really weird analogy.
Kick the baby.
No, I mean all things are proportionate, but most babies are not homicidal maniacs with the capacity to cause death. Like in my experience,
You don't know that, David.
it's true.
Always be prepared.
Stewie from Family Guy is.
Am I the only parent here? Because yeah, that's a point. Cool. Should we roll the dice again?
Yes.
Roll
it.
that
Roll that
dice.
Ooh, it's a low number.
Ooh.
Is it another even number? Because they've all been even so far.
No, it's odd this time. All right, here we go. Number 5. What was your funniest moment? And that's not individual. That's like you as a group.
I quite liked breakfast.
Can I just check, Sean? Because I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
Were there pigs in the past?
I think that we established there were pigs in the past.
So you ate bacon in the past?
Yeah.
You had no issue with being a pig folk and eating pigs?
I mean, I don't think anyone ever explained to him that that's what bacon was.
Right.
It would have been a faux pas.
If someone had explained it to AF4, would AF4 have eaten bacon in the past?
Yes.
Because we say in world, pigs eat most things. So
Explaining it to AF4 once is never enough.
But just, the fast of just going, which breakfast do I give people?
Actually, it's on theme because many pigs, in eating everything, do eat their own young.
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, like if they get in the way.
Yeah,
just in general.
I think my favourite bit was when you all arrived in the museum and I'd specifically made things to irritate all of you, and watching you react to them. That I enjoyed that deeply.
That was fun for me, says the DM.
I liked being annoying. I do worry about that museum because we took away their main selling point, and also there's just a dead dragon there.
I mean, they've got a dragon now, so.
They need to taxidermy it because we ripped its heart out.
Yeah, but I mean, if you sell off a dragon for parts, they'll have enough to give themselves a pleasant retirement way into old
As
age.
if someone's going to want to build their own dragon out of spare parts.
No, they're all spell components and stuff, really, really valuable. You can
Okay,
sell it
I
for
was imagining
thousands.
like a homunculus of different dragons.
That's a thing. They
I don't think
exist.
we missed a trick by not claiming the dragon as salvage.
Also, Dracoliches are a thing. I'm just saying.
Truth. They're annoying.
Where are my books?
Where are my books?
One other funny moment I think we all had, not just me, surely. The first time we saw a Modron and it said correct or incorrect. Every time after that point, I just had to smile.
Yeah.
And anytime I hear the word correct or incorrect out of this and in my real life, that's all I can think of. And I have a little giggle to myself every time.
They were very...
Just please, just say incorrect for me this one time.
You are incorrect.
I love it.
Make it ringtone.
I'm not going to deny that I have spent quite a bit of time on Hero Forge making a Modron character.
I saw that actually.
Just because it'd be really fun to play a Modron called Incorrect. I'm just saying it would be. Very tempted.
Amazing.
I'll share it at some point.
Yeah.
Any more for any more? Or should we roll the dice again?
Roll the dice.
Any moments of genuine scares? Apart from dying, David. I mean, that's.
I
mean, that wasn't scary as such, as more sort of a.
I mean, it was pretty scary for us still fighting because it was like, well, we couldn't beat it with 5 of us, and now there's 4.
I was kicking it in a hot tub with gods. I was all right. I was just like,
there were 5 of us, and then there were just 2 of us because everyone else was either dead or frozen in time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I knew I could not do anything about disintegrate. The moment I heard the fact that disintegrate was on the table, I was like, oh God, if someone gets this, there is nothing that I can do. But then I was like, we have the wish. And it was kind of okay, but that was scary. That was quite scary, but it was enjoyable at the same time, if that makes sense. Because it was actual peril, which is always fun.
Yeah. I wish to go back in time to the moment before I was disintegrated so I can try that deck save again.
A waste of a wish right there. That's what that is.
And then you fail, and then we're just like, well.
Oh, well, I guess that's how then. No.
Yeah, we gave it our best. Time to do the encounter again.
I will always regret using my reaction to get a reroll on a save to try and give Tom a turn rather than to save you. There's always it's just one of those things. Like if I just held on a bit, like go for a life-saving thing rather than Tom won't be annoyed for a round.
To be fair, Sean, we've seen Tom annoyed, and nobody wants to live through that.
I'm very scary.
That was the scariest moment of the game, seeing a glimmer of irritation in Tom's eye, feeling that the computer was about to hit a wall.
As the lady said, I've just got anger bubbling away inside me, and I'm like, oh no, quick, let Tom play.
Anger bubbling away in his breasts.
Like with the chat, we're like, are the gods in your breasts? You're like, gods in all our breasts, isn't it?
I think actually, going back to funny moments, I think that one-liner really hit me so hard when you went, what do you want? And either you threw in, or was it, they won't get bigger if you talk to them? I think
I have an athletic build.
The thing is, it's really sad because I miss all these because I'm so busy thinking about what's happening and what I'm trying to do that I miss all the comments you make. When I watch it back, I'm like, oh my God, there was like a 3-line conversation that I didn't even hear because I was so busy thinking about like what was happening.
That's the classic DM problem. I suppose one of the joys of recording is that you can watch it all back and go, oh, I missed all that. That's nice.
It's facial expressions as well, because you spend so much time, and then you're looking at people sort of like going.
That was my feeling for the last episode, watching it all back and going, oh, I missed all that.
There is a genuine point where you, Dave, literally go, oh, and just lean back, and you're basically leaning out of shot, out of light. It's like you have genuinely just a tiny little face.
If I had a green screen behind me, I'd have just sort of tried to just fade into
throw sink out of your chair.
It's kind of like you were one of the contestants on 15 to 1 who gets knocked out early and has to stand there for the rest of the game.
What is 15 to 1?
Do we have time?
Sure.
It's just a typical game show. You ask questions, get to the end, but you sort of get knocked out. I haven't watched it for years, to be honest. I think it's still going.
Yeah, my granddad used to be well into that. Like
my granddad did as well.
Daytime quiz shows, that and Countdown. We should do Ron really Together does Countdown.
I love Countdown.
Yeah.
I will not participate in that. Words are hard.
Roll Together does Celebrity Squares, looking at this.
Do a screen cap of the Zoom screen now.
Yeah, that's true. I'm roller dice.
What quiz show would you most like to see?
Players. You don't get to answer this question. I'm sorry, it's not for you. Although, to be fair, I think actually it would be a question you could answer. So you're welcome to answer it as well.
Oh, okay, I'll come back then.
Would any of your previous characters? God damn it, Dave. Would any of your previous characters have solved or sorted this campaign in a jiffy if they were there?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Deathly silent.
I feel like the only character who could potentially have solved this really quickly would be bloody Anton, because it's all about bloomin' time shenanigans.
Which of your previous characters, and this is not a dick on Anton question, unlike any other question.
No. I'm not dicking on Anton. I think he could probably have solved it.
Yeah, but you would have been annoyed if he had.
Coming next season, dicking on Anton.
That's the quiz show.
Yes.
Niall's not even here.
I don't know who Anton is, but...
No, apparently a dick.
Niall's spellcaster nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
I've only heard tales
Sea of
in
Swords.
the second degree.
At the end of the campaign, he decided to take unlimited power and nearly
I know
killed
that
the
bit.
entire reality in the party until everyone killed him.
I think he's the only roll together player character, apart from in the games that have been like, you must all murder each other, that's been killed on stream by other characters through necessity.
I'm going to take that challenge.
The classic, yeah. It was necessary.
It was
It's got
necessary.
the modern threshold of annoyance. If you're above it, then people can legitimately PvP you.
Genuinely, like I've said to Niall before, if they hadn't done that, you probably would have broken reality. He's gone, yeah, probably, but you don't know. No, Niall, the DM is telling you.
Reality was on the fence.
If one bad roll and reality would have split, it would have been fine. Oh, God.
It's difficult to answer as a DM because no matter what characters they brought, I would just have changed the story so they couldn't be like, here is the one, like there is no one solution to a campaign. Like, it doesn't matter what characters you bring, I will find ways to challenge them. It's not like if you have a different character, they will suddenly solve it, because if you had a different character, the campaign would have been different to deal with your different character.
Then let's tweak the question. Would any of your previous characters have enjoyed this, done this in a similar... What would previous characters of yours have done in this scenario?
And sorry, I really appreciate I'm slightly dominating the discussion, but I'm just making up for lost time.
You've got 40 minutes to catch up on, so you know.
Yeah. Everyone else, darkness, no. There's 3 characters I'd like to have brought into this just to see how they would do. And in reverse order, Bazar of Oz, just for the chaos. I've ended up in ancient times. Number 2 would be Aldrin, just because Aldrin is my most proud build in the history of Roll Together, and it's literally horrific. And now, who has recently been freed up thanks to the hiatus of our home game, Hagastaldis Nordheimbra Alba, aka Gus, coming to the next game I play in.
Oh no.
The Hobgoblin Nightmare.
For reference, chat and audience, Hobgoblin, Gus is a Hobgoblin Blade Singer, which means that his AC is often around 26, and he can re-roll saving throws to give himself extra and add a number based on the number of allies around him. It is a grim build. I had a list of spells I would use that didn't require saving throws to have any effect on Gus. That's...
Sounds like the entire of a Shadowfell symphony. We'll just adapt for every single game for you. No.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Clever.
Any more for any more?
I think Wilby would have just gone along with it. Would have been like, okay, you need to go and visit these Mordrons. All right, got picked up and carried off into the sky. They're like, oh, he's gone. He's not coming back.
How would Wilby have felt about being called incorrect?
I don't know if it would. Yeah, it's sort of it's like you could be sad, and then he's like, well, that's not. Sort of looking at the others, going, "Am I incorrect?" She's like, Wilby.
Easily questioned reality. Wilby. That's what that is. Yeah.
Oh no.
The only character that I think would have handled things in a different, interesting way is actually a character that I don't think about much and I've just kind of forgotten about, but Myrtle. She would not be having any of Myrtle's bullshit.
That would have been fun.
Hello, I sent you through time. No, you didn't. I am done with this conversation.
Knitting needle to the face.
Yeah.
I think for me it would be Roberto from the Christmas one shot. Just because, chronologist. So familiar with time things, and it probably also by level 12 would be realistically able to actually do a shitty thing about this pausing malarkey. A
lot of the Kurut's abilities are based on chronomancy at higher levels, so it does make sense. Yeah.
Plus would have access to counterspell.
Yeah, just constantly undoing it. It's just like you're frozen. You're like, no, you're not. Nope. Stop it.
I mean, I have to ask, if you had, would you have done a Doctor Strange and just kept repeating, Kurut, I'm here to bargain every time you get counterspelled?
that is my aim. That is my goal. Level 20, Roberto.
That's a separate timeline. The Frozen 5 stand around going, who was that?
There's a rabbit just talking to... Okay.
No. Any more for any more?
They would probably have... I'd be interested to see how Enoch would have reacted to this entire situation. I don't think this world would have been ready for Enoch. with his purpleness. But yeah, it would have been fun to have, for me, an intelligent character, because Sir Certain, he couldn't write or read. Like, he had no idea what was going on.
It was lovely.
It would have been nice to have someone who actually had a clue about words.
Oh, he was so splendid. Just this charming dimwit. It was just excellent.
Best dad. Best
crap dad ever.
Best crap
Love
dad.
Daddy Certain.
So Certain would have a mug with best dad.
Yeah.
Hang on, can we skip over that? Even just called him Daddy Certain, which is a little.
Update the wiki.
That is a bad horse.
That's the post 9 p.m. stream.
I'm writing it down. Daddy Certain. Oh, it's another character. It's a smarter version of Sir Certain.
Oh, no. I think that was another beautiful moment, was when Evie, you were like, I'm going to ride on the most beautiful horse, which is obviously Sir Griffer.
I couldn't stand to see. I couldn't stand to see his sad Liz. I couldn't.
Sad little face.
I will say I love my note taking because it means I write things like Daddy Certain down on other stuff, and now I've got next to my do your tax return, Daddy Certain.
Look, if
That's
that
the
gets
name of
it
the
done,
campaign.
you want to call yourself Daddy Certain. Get the tax done.
Do your taxes, Daddy Certain. You can't pay by all together.
We promised we would bring a book to Candlekeep. That's it. Do your taxes.
Daddy Certain.
Oh boy.
And they're just sitting there going, we don't want this. Why is this here? And why are you huge now? But,
And why are you huge now? Rolling the dice again.
you just have to ask.
Roll that dice. Chris, roll that dice.
Dice.
Nice.
Surprised how often I get asked that question.
Where are your legs?
All right, nat 20.
Ooh.
What's next for your character?
Secret Paladin.
Secret Paladin.
Secret Paladin. I think because we never actually had a group conversation of saying we are splitting up. So Zeleny kind of was like, oh, wow, just me now. And like, kind of like putting the cloak on and like the big loud chat and going, oh, I guess I'm going to spread peace
Yeah.
with the most beautiful horse in all the universe.
Yeah, that horse is all about peace, clearly.
Oh, absolutely. As long as you keep feeding him delicious sweets, you know, he's
The horse is going to die really quickly.
No.
No, he's fey.
I'm pretty sure.
A piece of dead ass.
Please stop trying to kiss my horse.
He's Daddy Certain is what that horse wants.
Here's pity, he's a horse.
We brought another book. Please stop bringing us your horse porn books. We do not need them in the library.
Candlekeep one whole section for horse porn.
Every time I come back, I'm like, I've got another one. And I'm like,
Just the erotica section.
Oh. Anyone else?
I should have forgotten what the question was, Chris.
What's
We went
next
on
for
to
your
horse-
character? Horse porn was the
right.
first answer, so that's good.
Oh, we
don't
know what
want to
Sir
write
Certain's
it.
doing.
Papa, no.
Daddy Certain, it all comes round.
I think
Comes
Sir
into a
Griffon
dodgy
Gertain.
agent. Water deep. Sorry.
Sir Griffon Gertain.
I think Sir Griffon Gertain will now, because that's his now name.
Oh yeah.
He's tried to learn to read, and I think he's going to try and get to its Blackstaff Tower in Waterdeep. That's the wizarding school. He's trying to get in, but he's not clever enough. So he's probably going to be a janitor at the magic school, but be happy about it, you know. See all the young ones learning things and reading.
Occasionally just
Maybe
chuck
Hagrid.
them in the pond to make them stronger.
Some poor janitor for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, go find the dodgy agent in Waterdeep, and we'll see what happens with that book.
Would you go as Daddy Certain or Daddy Gertain?
Oh, good point. Depends on the type of book.
Eddie Girthtain.
Oh, God.
Because he's changed
No.
because he's changed
What
to
is this?
Gertain, he would then use his stage name of Certain, which no one knows, obviously.
This is now rolled together after dark.
I'm not saying that
it
this is
depends on if
sexual
you've been a
frustration in
good
Twitch
horse or a
chat
bad
form, but
horse.
it's not far off.
What was that, Evie?
The name depends on if you've been a good horse or a bad horse.
Splendid. Very good. Very good.
My
That
little
would be the
pony,
title of the
skinny
first
and bony.
film, Good Horse, Bad Horse.
I refuse to accept that you're all doing horse porn. Someone save us.
I'm not doing it. I seem to be writing it.
Just ingesting it.
I'm not ingesting anything.
You know Murta would direct.
No, that's what Murta's the one writing it and you're like, stop it.
Copyright. She's
Okay.
Sorry.
Is anyone's what happens to your character next not to do with horse porn? I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Mine is not.
Nothing to do with horse porn.
Great. Okay, let's start with Sean's. Tell us about the pig porn instead.
What? Not doing porn.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of very, very scantily clad pseudo pigs that were once your friends.
I think Winnie the Poohing it was used to describe them. I don't think that even scantily clad kind of covers it.
Winnie the Poohing it means they're wearing a shirt and no trousers. Like that's
Yes.
Yeah.
no bottoms at all.
So they're wearing what clothes could be acquired. Evie's trying to say something. Evie.
I'm never going to get a chance to say this, so I'm just going to say it now. Occasionally you just said, I'm just going to stick him like a pig. And it took all my self-restraint to not say, is that what you do to Mrs. Airfworth?
Please, Hildesween?
Wildersween. It means wild pig in Old English.
At least 13 times, canonically. Yeah.
No, 3 different letters.
How does sex work? No one will tell me.
It's different for pigs. It's very different for pigs, and there's also a whole section of the library as this said, so you'll be fine.
Aof was going to be trying to get home. Seeing as all of the pig folk in this timeline are his direct descendants, I'm pretty certain that he's going to be trying to get home to the wife. He's quite late.
Mm.
How?
She's quite late as well, to be fair.
That's the fourth letter. So, how are you going to get back, though? How would you do that?
Well, the party have put it into Aofa's head that wish spells exist and a wish spell could do it. So it was for me. It was interesting because I really want to continue playing Aofa, but Aofa wants to go home and take himself out of the timeline. So I kind of said, if the opportunity comes up, Aofa will take it. Please don't give it to him.
Look, all you need is the opportunity for wish spells and then a member of the party to be disintegrated every time. And then it's always very clear which way the wish should go. That's the solution. Yeah.
So, thank you for taking one on the chin there, David. Quite literally.
Pleasure.
What chin?
I mean,
Taking it on there.
did I take it on anything?
Was dust now.
Dust in the wind?
Evie, what does Tine do after all this is over?
Tine goes on an adventure. Literally just kind of going out on her own, trying to make a name for herself with some renown and some swag on her own merits rather than on the back of a princess, but also trying to get some status back because she doesn't like to feel like a peasant. And for some reason in my head, I've got it that she might get along very well with, it's one of Hannah's characters from Eternal Army, the really posh elf. Protea. I get the feeling they'd get along very well, so maybe they're past cross.
Are we edging our way towards a Posho campaign? Because I kind of want that.
I'd
5 Poshos.
I'd be there.
Ditto. Poshest voice. Let's hear it.
Oh,
I can't. I'm northern.
Well, I'm northern too, dear, but one must certainly try.
Let's try.
Perhaps sound a bit drunk as you keep on going.
I do want to bring Murta back as a PC.
Brilliant.
But in a different body or still as the same?
No,
Warforged?
still Warforged.
Mercer, who just doesn't understand really what happened there. It's like, I was just trying to be nice.
I did everything right.
Yeah.
I did everything right.
They were very rude and then threw my stone in the lake.
That is a really good point, Em. Why did Mercer run away?
She didn't want to die.
She promised you would.
Yeah, she did.
Got you there.
Yeah, she did. She's not gonna.
Yeah. You divined on the
real
plot.
magic beans.
I think I said, I was like, let's give her the benefit of the doubt that she did swap her soul back. But no, she just ran away with the jar. The last shred of Zeleny giving some hope to it. And they're like, no. Oh, no.
I will say, I'm impressed that Mercer took the jar.
Why would she leave the jar?
Because you may as well bin it now if you don't want to go back into the body. You don't need
I don't
it
want someone
anymore.
else to open it.
If you destroy the jar, that's it.
But it's the soul that's in it that dies, not Nurta.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. You can magic jar someone and then sod it, burn it into pieces.
I don't think she's that evil. She does intend to at some point give the body back. It's just not. It's not yet. It's not yet.
Gonna clock up another 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Or find a better body.
Or find a better body. It's also a good solution.
Oh God, I'm just imagining her going around with like a little, like creepy Victorian doll that she's put the soul in.
Well, I did debate whether she was going to be a lich, but you have to be really super evil to be a lich. I was like, I'm not. We're not going to go there, quite there. We're going to go somewhere in the middle.
If that hadn't occurred to us, if we had never actually met a lich, and you're just like, yeah, that's fine. And other people were like, no, absolutely not. Do you know what? We're like, no, we're from 2,000 years in the past. What's up?
I will say it's one of my sadnesses of D&D that there is no way to artificially extend your life that isn't kind of evil.
It's because it is kind of evil.
Yeah, but then you'll be like murder.
Fresh fruit and exercise. It's just...
Yeah,
Sure.
We rest our case. Murder is kind of evil.
Evil, yeah.
I've got to be around to make sure that, I send them off on a quest that they don't need to, because I could have just told them.
But it's about the journey, Sean.
It's all about the journey.
Good times.
We got to go on an adventure. We got to go look at some books.
That's Torvald's future. Once he tried to teach Griffon and Airflow how to read, then he is off to Candlekeep to try and get a job as captain of the big books, and is officially gifted to roll together as an NPC to use as you wish.
Ah, interesting. An NPC in Candlekeep, you say?
Captain Big Books.
With a distinctly Russian accent.
Oh yeah. Torvald, stop grappling the books.
Hello, welcome to Candlekeep. Yeah.
It's like one of those flappy books you see in video games. It's like, no, you're going down. Bad book.
In Forbidden Library, book reads you.
Oh, dear. I think we've got time for one more question if we squeeze it in. What do we think?
Yes. One more.
Roll that
We end with a number 2, the final question, and it's just for Emma.
Of course we do. That's been about the tone, hasn't it?
Em, were there any secrets or mysteries that the players didn't...
I'm sorry, it's a number 2. I just...
Yay!
It's a roast
pudding.
Em, were there any secrets or mysteries that the players didn't solve or discover?
Well, I mean, they can contribute maybe if they've got any questions, but I'll let you into the secret of my planning. It's like I'm like 5 seconds ahead of all of you. Yeah.
So no is the answer to that question. Good.
Well, like if we'd carried on, there would have been more, but we stopped. So no, there is
Okay,
no more.
we'll use this as a chance for the players to go, what about this, though?
What on earth did Fur get when the pig folk were made into pig folk?
What was the deal?
Biscuits.
It wasn't a deal. He pissed off a hag.
Oh, he just pissed them off.
Yeah.
So he hadn't made a deal. Okay.
No, there was no deal. It was just a curse.
Fur.
What did he do?
Liz.
Hi. Yes, I've forgotten. No. We had to insight check Myrta, and I believe we failed. And we then believed that she was being truthful to us. What was she hiding?
At what point was that? What was the specific question?
I think it was about the jar, or...
It was the point where you said that the Warforged within, that Mert had made a deal with the Warforged that they would swap bodies back in a couple 100 years, and there was an insight check roll that the party failed. Was that because Mert had stayed in the body too long? Was there some kind of hint there?
It was just whether she was genuinely willing to go back or not, or whether the Warforged had been willing at the start or not. Who knows? Remains a mystery.
Was there ever a great evil?
Yeah.
Did you ever have something in mind that was going to be the great evil, or were you just freaking us?
Then why did she do it?
Well, the prophecy said there would be a great evil.
She made a mistake.
Roll together, home of the really bad diviners.
Plus, at this point, she is going to need a new body at some point. So maybe it was like, well, see which of them holds up the best.
Giant Torvald,
Make a
definitely.
deal.
He's just sort of like gently squeezing our muscles, and it's like, no. It's like, please stop.
Yes, that's a tape measure,
Are pig folk now canon?
big folk have to be canon.
They've got to be.
Well, I mean, A4 already exists, so, but I guess the caveat to that is that if you're going to play a pig folk in our universe, they have to only just have realised that they're a person and not be used to like clothes and walking. So
oh no, what a horrible challenge. I hate the sound of that.
Or talking. So you've got like a Kenku pig.
Hang on.
Learning speech.
Sean, you're going to have to decide this then. Are they all from the West Country?
Well, they're learning from Aethwa, who is West Country.
Some of them could pick up maybe from Torvald and Sir Certain. So I suppose you can kind of have an accent that spans from anywhere from, very posh to West Country to Russia.
Russia.
Fantasy Russia.
Pan-East.
Pan-East. Pan-Eastern Eurotrash.
I mean, if Ennis, I said this to Em, like Torvald does have the feat that allows you to speak like a local after you've heard them talk, so I don't feel like a Russian accent is necessary. But
necessary.
It is
necessary.
Any other questions for Em before we wind up? Or time for a couple more if they've got them?
Is there anything you wish we could have done differently?
No, I loved all of it.
Oh.
No, it was good.
Would we have been murdered if we had tried to deal with the Mordrons and gone to their realm? Would we have been? Was there a diplomatic version of this?
You would definitely have been judged, and then you'd either have been destroyed or gone back to where you came from, like back in time, depending on what your answers were. So there was a strong chance that you would just all have died.
My last question is, like, have we now beaten the Mordrons, or would they continue to just keep coming?
That is for future DMs of these characters to decide.
Nice.
Sorry, one final question. I can't not know. What on earth was the white dragon thinking when it just clutched its broken orb and said, I'll be back? What was its plan?
Well, it was hoping that you wouldn't be able to follow it.
I'm back, Shatwang.
It was thinking, we really need a full part.
Look, white dragons are really stupid, so it didn't quite know exactly what the thing did. It just knew that it was a really good escape route.
Hang on, this is a common misconception. Just to be clear, white dragons aren't that dumb. They're just dumber than other dragons.
Yeah.
And dragons are notoriously smart, so...
Yes, but that means that if they talk to any other dragon, the other dragon will be like, yeah, you're stupid. And if you get told that enough times, you start to believe it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I feel bad for it now.
Also, what happened to his books? Did we give the books?
Murta took them.
Yeah.
Murta has them all.
But Murta didn't give us the books to give to Candlekeep.
Murta gave you 5 books to take to Candlekeep. Well, 6, 1 for Lambert as well. And now they're all in Aethwa's possession, the remaining ones, because they're in the house.
Oh,
yes, I own a house now.
Yes, you do.
And
From being burnt down. Maybe he wants a bed.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for joining us, everyone, for this post-show recap of Ancient Antics. And thank you very much, all of our lovely players and Emma for DMing. What a lovely time was had. Thank you for joining us for the talk-togethers, for the chattings. You can find all of our shows at 6 p.m. GMT, that's 10 a.m. Pacific, and all times in between. On Mondays and Tuesdays, we stream campaigns. Next Monday is episode 3 of A Shadowfell Symphony, which Liz is DMing. Liz, would you like to tell us a bit more about A Shadowfell Symphony?
Yeah, sure. Basically, a bunch of bards are now trapped within the Shadowfell with no way home. Will they find a method to get home? Who can say? Chris might know. Maybe.
I'm playing in it, that's why.
Yeah.
No, my character in that game is also not bright, so there's a lot of guess we're doing this now. So that's all that
Oh
is.
no, ghosts.
Yes. Hunk does not like ghosts. Very canonically correct. Based on a single dice roll. Just thought I'm going with this now. Good. And on Tuesday, we start our new Warriors of Waterdeep campaign, Descent into the Heartcoil Deeps, which Em is in.
Welcome to the Underdark.
Basically, yes, that's what we're doing. They go into the Underdark to deal with a strange place shrouded in divination magic, shrouded from divination magic, and what will they find? Well, if you played the game, you know. And also, it's in the poster. So,
and lots of sweet moments between the characters who are all learning more about each other and coming to terms with who they are.
They have played together for a very long time, it's true. So yeah, there's a lot of lovely things to develop those characters there. But join us for that on Tuesdays. And then on Fridays, as you have been watching now, we have Talk Together, where we talk to each other about recent campaigns and other things we've been up to, TTRPGs in general, but yes, that is what we do here. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, archived at youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg, and there are podcast versions available. Just search for Rolltogether RPG on your favourite podcast provider. I say thank you to Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, Elderwood Academy, D&D Beyond, Level Up Dice, and Warriors of Waterdeep, and our wonderful D20 Club, our dice heads. Thank you so much for all of the support you give us. You can join them. There's a Discord. It will be in chat. And they also made a wiki of all of these stories that we're telling. That will also link be in chat. Join us there to engage further with everything that we are doing. We're all over the socials as Rolltogether RPG, apart from TikTok, although if Tom has his way, that might change.
So much cosplay, so much dancing. It's going to be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Everyone else is shaking their heads, which I'm going to take as a yes, we want this.
Hey, buddy, I'm starting a D&D themed barbershop group potentially, so you never know.
We will duet. It will be great.
And I will leave you all with David's catchphrase, which we have now all adopted, horse porn.
Horse
Thank you very much, everyone.
Osborne.
Osborne.